Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. It is a very exciting day. Do you know what we're going to do today? We are going to put the very first plants into our Proven Winners signature garden. Yay! The day has arrived and we can begin planting. If you remember the last 2 days, Jerry has worked his little heart out and got the irrigation installed into the signature garden. So that means all, quote, the bones are in and we can begin putting plants in. I am so stinking excited about this. Can you tell? So guess what's going to go in? What we're going to focus on today is the berm, the two raised beds that you will walk through to enter into the signature garden. We got a delivery of some stunning sprinter boxwoods from Proven Winners yesterday. We got them from our friends over there at Johnson's Nursery in eastern North Carolina. They grow some gorgeous sprinter boxwoods. So we decided to get them from them because they are so nice and big and beautiful. We are growing them, but they're still on the little teeny side. So go big or go home, right? So we decided to go big. Gorgeous sprinter boxwoods. We are big fans of the sprinter boxwoods. They perform really, really well for us in our North Carolina Zone B garden. They handle the heat, they handle the humidity, they can do full sun, they can do full shade, they can do anything between. And I've always wanted to have like a formal garden, but we're not really formal people around here. So this is going to be a little bit of a wink and a nudge to that, in the fact of on the berm, we are going to have a row of the sprinter boxwoods, and they're going to be spaced pretty close together, 2 feet apart, because over the next couple of years, as they are growing and as we are trimming them, we want them to be a hedge, a solid boxwood hedge. Sprinter boxwoods can be maintained anywhere between 2 to 4 feet. We will keep them in that 2.5 foot mark. Obviously, we're going to let them grow together, and then the height we can determine as we go through the years, right? So we're going to have a gorgeous hedge of those. Then on the other side, like the garden side, we're going to have a row of little lime punch Panicle hydrangeas. Massive fan of these hydrangeas. We've had them in the back garden by the patio for the last, we've had them for 2 years, 3 years, and they just really, really do well. Nice, sturdy, compact, beautiful, creamy white flowers. I mean, they're almost iridescent, especially when they first kind of pop out. Just gorgeous. But I love them because they're nice and strong and sturdy plants. Those are up at the greenhouse in production, so we're gonna go up there in just a minute. We've got to gather some of our supplies. So we've got the boxwoods are here, so that's not too bad. We just have to walk a couple of feet so we can lay them out. The little lime punches are up at production. We will go grab those. And then of course, because it is us here at Gardening with Creekside, everything is going to get biotoned, and then we're going to come back with Land and Sea and compost, and we're going to amend, top dress these areas. For now, we're only going to do the sprinters and the hydrangeas. We are later on in the season probably going to add some violas and pansies to the sides of the berms. We'll talk about that in a little bit as far as like where the annual plantings will go, but we're not ready for that. We're going to get the sprinters in, the hydrangeas in, everybody's going to get biotoned, everybody's going to get a top dress of Land and Sea. We will do the irrigation in because this will be on drip tubing. So once the plants are in the ground, we'll show you how we lay that brown drip tube on there and then top dress the whole bed. So when we are done today, the berms will be planted and look great and be finished for this season. So without further ado, let us go grab all of our supplies, and you can come with us. We'll get everything settled, and then we can start putting plants out and get them in the ground. of the supplies are gathered, they are here, the project can commence. So let me just walk you through what we're going to do initially before we actually start planting, because as you know, with any project, prep work is very key and vital. We do have everything all staged right here for us. Hydrangeas, Boxwoods of course, land and sea, biotone is there. And then you'll see that Jerry's got this massive roll of twine that does not stretch, correct?
No.
Right, so this is why we like it. We use it in the landscape purposes because it does not stretch. And so he has tied it to this rebar stake here, and then he is going to walk it down and then tie it to the other rebar stake that is the other corner. So we have 4 rebar stakes, hit a snack. 4 rebar stakes on the 4 corners of this part of the garden. So the idea is that he's about to lose his mind, y'all. He's getting a little hangry. Lunch is on the way, but we just got to hold him off until lunch. So he's going to go ahead and tie it to this other corner, and then we will have a very nice straight line that goes down, nice tight line, goes all the way down the length of the garden. From this point, so you can see, nice straight line right here. So from this point, right, then what we're going to do is we are going to measure back X amount of feet to where we've already placed 2 boxwoods, and we like them where they are right here. So I'm just going to say, let's say that's 7 feet. So every boxwood is going to be 7 feet off of this line. That way they are in a nice straight line all the way down. So whatever that measurement is, we'll figure out. We'll just measure it up, figure it out, and then everybody will be in a nice straight line together, and they will be spaced 2 feet apart. To make things, let's see, here he goes.
You want to just do the back of the pot?
That would be easier. So from the back of the pot, 9 feet? 9 feet 3 inches.
No, 93 inches.
93 inches.
7 foot.
Oh, I was right, 7 feet. Look at that.
7 feet and about 9 inches.
Okay, so we'll say 93 inches.
93 inches.
Makes it easy. Haha, my eyes were pretty good. All right, so 93 inches, that will be our measurement. And then we're gonna make a little jig. Jerry had already started it. So he is cutting this PVC pipe at exactly 2 feet. So we will use that piece of PVC pipe, and it will be from center of pot to center of pot, and then down we go from there. So we'll do the boxwoods first, and then we will come back with the little lime punches. They are over here on the wagon. We have a total of 14 of them, so 7 will go into each of the beds. But man, these are beautiful. They are great. Are they in full bloom? No. Do I want them to be in full bloom? No, I don't. Because tonight is going to be like 25 degrees. So these more than likely are all going to get fried, and that is okay. Do not fret, right? So if you're planting shrubs and you go into a freezing night, it's okay. As long as they're well watered, they will be perfectly fine. They are actually more insulated in the ground than they are in this container, right? So there you go. Little lime punch is just, like I said, a great one that we love and adore. I also do have them in the berm. If I can grab a picture of some of the blooms, they are beautiful red. So I'll show you that. So what we're going to do is just set the cameras up, and we are going to get all the prep work done and lay out the boxwoods first, I think probably, and then we'll meet you back here. So just stay tuned. It's all an adventure around here. Can I just tell you how stinking excited I am to have those boxwoods all in a beautiful little white line? Man, they look great. We were very precise with how we place them. Now you might see a little bit of, you know, little swervy there. It's more because the pots are not sitting flat on the ground. So trust me, I promise they are all nice in a beautiful row all the way down to the other side of the other berm. What we did is, of course, we went with the lay of the land, which I like. So when we look at it from this perspective, as I back out so you can kind of see the whole thing, it curves, right? So we have nice straight, comes down, and then it comes down on this side. Same thing, comes down, goes up, and then curves down. We ended up going with 17 on each side. We had originally allotted 16, but that is why that's why you always buy 1 or 2 extra, because it just made sense to go ahead and fill it all the way out. Now on this side, it would have been a little bit too close to put another one right here because we are going to have river rock coming back around there, so we decided to end it right there. And then of course the hydrangeas are going to go in the front. But man, y'all, doesn't that look great? I mean, it doesn't take much for us to get us gardeners excited, and a beautiful line of boxwoods all in a nice pretty straight line sure do make this girl happy, especially because we have been planning and dreaming this space for so long, and it is starting to come to fruition, and getting plants in the ground makes my heart very, very happy. Now, what are we going to do right now? So right now what we're going to do is go ahead and get the boxwoods in the ground, and then we will move on and put the hydrangeas in. So what we're going to use, of course, is our power planter auger. This will be super easy to drill because obviously all this soil right here is nice and fluffy. This was just native soil that we have brought in. So, you know, I get asked all the time, you know, I have terrible red clay soil. What in the world do I need to do? You want to amend, right? That hence all of this beautiful land and seed compost. But red clay, remember, is not a bad thing. It holds nutrition, it holds water. And so it is a good thing. But when you are creating a garden like this, and for us, right, this is a really big deal. For our business, this is going to be bringing people in. This is a signature garden. There is a standard to which we have to really uphold here with the Proven Winners Signature Garden. We want it to be the absolute best, and that is why we are using nothing but the best products. So we are using the Power Planter auger. You can see Jerry just went ahead and popped it in, so just kind of holding up there. These are 3-gallon sprinters. Hydrangeas are 3 gallons as well. So we'll be using the 9-inch heavy-duty tip on that one. And then everybody, once we drill the holes, then everybody gets, of course, biotone. Biotone is so vitally important because it is that great starter fertilizer. Has all that mycorrhiza in there. Remember, this is specifically for root growth because, as we say, happy roots, happy shoots. You have a strong, healthy, happy root system, then you're going to have a strong, healthy, happy plant up top. Yes, it is now officially November. Today's November 1st. Yes, tonight is going to be 25, 26 degrees. Am I worried about these plants? Not at all. Not at all. This is the perfect time for us to begin planting these. Yes, this is a little bit delayed, but remember, we did not plant our privacy berm. I look back, the first day we planted our trees, it was November the 10th last year. That berm did phenomenal this year with not being on irrigation until July. This is going to start out on irrigation, not that we're running it, but get these plants in the ground. Those roots will have tons of time to get nice and grow strong with the biotone fertilizer. That's what that is for. So when the heat of the summer hits, that's what we have to worry about. These plants will be super happy, nice, strong, vigorous root system, and they will handle our heat and humidity like champions. So we're going to get these holes drilled. Everybody's going to get biotone, get them in the ground, and then we'll move on to the hydrangeas, and then we'll put down the irrigation and the land and seed. Look, my friends, the boxwoods are in, the hydrangeas are going in. It is just a glorious, glorious sight. So what we have determined, you probably saw us do this, is, so remember I talked about this is native soil. Jerry went and got it from another piece of the property and built up this berm right here. There's a lot of rock in there. And when I say there's rock, there is rock that is anywhere from being the size of an orange all the way up to this massive thing right here. Can you see that? Yeah, that was going to be where that second boxwood is. It was right underneath there. Yeah, power planter auger is great. It is not going to go through that thing. So when we were drilling the holes, because of the rock, the auger and the holes got off, like as far as like the exact placement. So what we realized after doing the first one, and I looked at that line and I was like, that is not straight. So we had to go back with the tape measure and fix everything. So the second go around, what we did is did the holes, just plopped the plants down, and then before we actually planted them, Jerry and I went through and checked each one. Then we did the biotone down, and then we put the native soil back. So that's kind of the MO on that. The boxwoods, again, they are 2 feet apart on center. So what that means is from the center of this boxwood to the center of that boxwood is 2 feet, 24 inches. And here we go. Here's a test to see how nice and straight. I mean, looking pretty darn good, y'all. Look at that. Excellent. So the hydrangeas are, these are little line punches. They can be 3 to 5 feet tall and wide at maturity. Because we are in North Carolina, they're going to be closer to the 5-foot section. So we space them 4 feet apart on center, 48 inches, because again, I would want ultimately these to be a nice hydrangea hedge. So 4 feet apart on center, and then back here as far as the sprinters, we did them 36 inches, because my thoughts were if I keep my boxwoods at 2 feet wide roughly, so that means a foot this way, half of 5 is 2.5, so 2.5 this way, the foot of the boxwood, that is my 3.5 feet right there. Right now, it does look a little peculiar because there is a good bit of section, flower bed, between the hydrangeas and the boxwood. And Cece and I were talking, and she said, you know, this is a good example of planting for future. You're planting for the future growth. I know right now it may look a little peculiar and odd. That is where annuals can come in if you want to do that. So then my brain started thinking, I was like, ooh, do I want to plant for next year, probably next year only, do I want to plant a hedge of an annual that goes straight down? And then my precious husband was like, now don't forget what happened at the berm. So you remember my Wicked Witch Coleus and my Senorita Blanca Cleome, which was magnificent and massive and huge and did exactly what I wanted it to do. But it was a little too happy, and it started to inhibit the growth of my golden Oakland holly, my butterfly bushes, those kinds of things. So I'm gonna sit on this for a little bit, and if I do something like an annual down through here, because again, I have 3.5 feet, if I have or plant an annual, it would be something on the small side, maybe like an angel face angelona, or the unplugged pink salvia, because that stays more petite and not as spread. This is not where I would want to put my Wicked Witch Coleus, because, or my Senorita Rosalita Cleome. It would be stunning, but I think it would get too wide, and then it keeps the sun getting onto the shrubs, and then the shrubs don't grow like they should, right? But you can see these guys are nice and planted now, the little lime punches. 2 of them are down in the hole, and I think the rest of them, I don't think they're in the hole yet. I think that's what Cece's doing. That's why the elevation difference, maybe a little bit. No, they're done, he said. Some are just shorter than the others. And so they are done going in, and we did the same thing. So they were measuring while we were talking. They went ahead and measured, Biotone went in, and then Jerry's coming back and backfilling with the native soil. He's making sure that they're at the right depth and getting those in. So it's kind of an all hands on deck right now because everybody is pitching in and doing really well. Let's come around this way. Now, all of these, of course, these are living plants, and they are not perfectly uniform in size. So like the one that Jerry's working on now, you can see when he moves that it's more upright, like the shape of it is a little bit more upright, whereas these two next ones, they are fuller at the bottom. So it looks like these are like little short squatty ones, and it looks like there is a height difference. It's just the shape of the plant, and that will all work itself out next year as they're growing and developing, and it'll all be fine. Remember, perfection, no, not attainable. We're going for progress, not perfection. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to get these in the ground, and then after that we're going to go ahead and lay the drip tubing and then top dress with land and seed compost. Jerry and Alyssa got the irrigation all hooked up and run, and now we're starting to lay out some land and seed. Alyssa's coming back and stapling down any irrigation that's popped up. So what they did is, here is where yesterday with the irrigation, so this is the line, this line right here is directly connected to that main water line, that 1-inch PVC pipe, and then the tubing is coming out of there. He put an elbow on it and out it comes. And then they just simply, they went down, they did the boxwoods on 2 sides so that water would start to drip down. We will add more for the annuals at the time whenever we do the annuals. But for now, it's just running the length of each of the hydrangeas and the boxwoods down there. Again, planting this time of year is what is going to ensure that we have great healthy root systems, and that way we don't have to water as much in the future, right? If we need to add more irrigation at some point, we easily can do that. That's the great thing about this drip tube, is that it's really easy to add and move around. So did that, and then you can see where it is tied in right here. It is buried and then pops up on the other side back here behind the hydrangeas. And everybody's in the ground nice and happy. And then the land and sea. The land and sea is coming out. We have got lots and lots of good land and sea to put down on this bed. We're going to use that as the top dressing, the mulch, whatever you want to call it. Now, I know this is a massive investment to put this compost down here, but again, we are wanting the absolute best results, so we are using the absolute best product, and these plants are going to be so extremely happy come the coming years. And so that is what, putting it down nice and thick so it will hide the drip tubing. We will not turn that on right now unless we need to at some point, but for now we are good. So Jerry, you can clearly see, is in production mode. He is just going after it, slinging it, and then we'll come back and smooth it out. So that's what's going to happen now, is we're going to lay down this land and sea. Why do we lay down this great compost? One, retains moisture. 2, of course it makes it look pretty. 3, and then just the nutrition. We are adding organic matter to this soil, because if you have happy, healthy soil, you're gonna have happy, healthy plants. And we are taking that investment and really putting our money where our mouth is and using that for these beds so that we have great nutrition in the flower beds and that these plants are fed and happy and stay nice and moist. So, somebody's wearing down. All right, we're gonna get this laid out. All right, my friends, can you see it behind? Complete. Yes, so the sprinters are in, the hydrangeas are in, the irrigation is in, everybody has biotone, and it has been top dressed with land and sea. So it is looking mighty, mighty fine right here. And yes, I am standing on top of the wagon because I wanted to give you a beautiful bird's eye view of this area. So could not be happier with how it all looks. We went ahead and it was a lot of land and sea. You can see that we only have 4 bags left out of that pallet. I think there's roughly like 75 bags on a pallet, and we used them all. Okay, let me hop down and then I'll show you up close. So yes, we went ahead and got this whole space filled, topped off with the land and sea. It just makes it great, right? Again, amends the soil, aids in retaining water, feeds the plants, especially going into winter. It just gives them lots of great nutrition throughout the season, gets those roots nice and developed. And then we did go ahead and of course bring it down here on this side as well. Now remember, because everybody was kind of, even Cece and Alyssa were asking, the ditch. So this is the drainage ditch. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take washed stone, so gravel, right? So this is what we call washed stone. It's just nice, pure gravel. There's no fines in it or anything like that. We're gonna fill the ditch completely so that it is even with that washed stone. And then basically where the land and sea stops, so from there all the way up to this gravel over here, we will put decorative like river rock. So it'll be really pretty and will look like a dry creek bed, but any water that's coming off of the berm, any water that's coming off from the shrub lot, rain, remember we've got springs that pop up back here, so all of that will drain here, and then we do have to lower this culvert pipe, so we have to do that first before we can really fill this in. So that's why the ditch is here, and that's why we didn't bring the land and sea right up to the edge of that. Now you will notice that we only got one of the beds done as far as the land and sea. This one is, she's still naked, and so we will come back to first thing tomorrow morning and do this one. It just got to be late in the day. People had to go home. The sun is setting. I don't know if you can tell. And tonight is the night that is going to be 25 degrees. And so it's getting a little chilly out here. I say that very lightly because some of you already have snow on the ground. And here we are in North Carolina, but I think it's because you go from such a temperature extreme. We were at like 84 2 days ago, and then it just plummeted. So you're kind of in shock. But we could not be happier with how this is looking. Cece and I were talking, and I think what we're gonna go with is down the center for the summer season. We're going to use the Angel Face Wedgwood Blue, Angelonia. Be gorgeous. It's a nice soft bicolor of cream and blue. Not too terribly tall, but will fill in there, and it will just complement everything in the front is going to be a mixed border. So we'll have petunias, we'll have coleus, we'll have, I mean, just plum dandy and cerveza and lime and caladiums. So it'll just be a really fun mixed border all through here and then sweep around right there. So while we are waiting on the shrubs to go ahead and mature and fill out, that's what's so great about annuals, is that you can kind of use them as fillers and get everybody nice and snugged in there and gives it that really nice tight look. But yeah, so tonight's gonna be 25. We tried to take a lot of footage because don't know what these are hydrangeas, might be a little toasty in the morning. But yeah, really excited, can you tell? Very happy to have all of this in the ground, and it's just going to be spectacular. But it does show you the difference, if you can see, between the unfinished bed as far as the top dressing and then the one, of course, that has the land and sea. All right, my friends, it's been a great long day. We feel very accomplished, so stinking excited. So yeah, my brain can't even think. Who knows what's next? We'll see you in the next video. As always, thanks very much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. Bye, friends.